Today, I wanted to look at the one and only FPS game made for the Game Boy Color. Developed in 1999 to 2000 by Slytherin Software, the game was supposed to be published by Eidos Interactive, but was lost for 20 years. After 20 years of being lost to time, a company called Pico Interactive picked up the title and finished the game code. Pico Interactive ended up making the game playable and released the game in 2018. This game released as an actual physical Game Boy Color cartridge. The game is Western sci-fi themed, having you shoot at alien robots and dinosaurs. Though the game features 28 levels, 10 plus enemy types, and supposedly a 2-player co-op mode. The plot's centered around a bunch of alien robots coming to Earth and resurrecting dinosaurs. You take control of a gunslinger named Tex. Tex has to visit the mine, an alien spacecraft, and an underground city. As you go through these levels, you will find yourself taking out alien robots and cyborg dinosaurs, both of which are spitting huge fireballs at you. Which, by the way, even though this game surprisingly is super easy to strafe in just holding B and moving left and right, it's still sometimes a pain in the ass dodging these things. Though speaking of the controls, they're actually surprisingly really nice here on the Game Boy Color. At times, the controls seem to be something on par with the Game Boy Advance FPS games, which to me tells me that the developers loved and did an amazing job on this game. I mean, sure, looking at it now in 2026, it doesn't look anything special. Hell, you can play Doom on a refrigerator nowadays. I will say the sound department needs some work though, because there's not any background audio music playing the entire time you're playing. These levels are nothing but complete silence, your own footsteps, and your gun firing every now and again at a dinosaur or robot. Just to show you how bare bones the audio department actually is in this game, I'm going to show you 10 whole seconds of in-game footage with audio. I think you get my point, and I think you know what I mean already by now. The game is just kind of boring with this lack of audio. There's no hardcore rock, no western sci-fi themed music playing to keep you pumped going through shooting down dinosaurs and robots. This is one of many things that Doom did perfectly, was give us an amazing soundtrack. That was part of what kept us going, tearing through demons, running and gunning. That is actually a big reason why I haven't finished this game yet. It just gets really boring after a few levels. Earlier I had mentioned there are actually 10 plus enemy types in the game, though I have only seen 2 of them because I haven't got too far into it before getting completely bored out of my mind. I feel like this really could have been avoided just adding some kind of audio track. Even if it wasn't the best, it would have been better than listening to nothing. On top of the fact of having no audio track, the graphics are very bland to look at, with all or if not most textures looking pretty plain. The enemy sprites seem to look pretty good, especially up close. Though I did notice this line or glitch that's in the revolver that you're holding. I don't know what that is about, why the sprites glitch like that, but it is, and I just like to point it out. It ain't really nothing serious, but definitely something worthy of pointing out. Now, I am trying to review this as a game that came out in 99 to 2000, and not as a game that released in 2018, because that is really unfair. I'm sure if this game would have gotten to release in 99 to 2000, kids would have loved it at the time. And believe it or not, this was actually a technical breakthrough for the Game Boy Color. I am actually very surprised with how many enemies can show up on the screen at once, though the animations aren't that great and sometimes don't even play at all, it seems. But the fact that all of this is going on across 28 levels on the Game Boy Color is truly a breakthrough and just amazing. Not to mention that these crazy people over at Pico Interactive managed to do this and have it play so well frame rate wise. Especially considering the developers of the original Doom port for the Game Boy Advance struggled porting the entire game over, only having a portion of the game come over. That fact alone actually just makes this game even better, considering it's almost on par with Doom 2's 32 levels on the Game Boy Advance. There's also a cool little detail with the force fields in this game that I want to show you guys. Sometimes when you shoot the force fields, your bullets can ricochet back and take damage from you, but other times when you shoot it, it does not. It's completely random. Again, nothing too amazing, but the fact that this is happening on the Game Boy Color and the fact that there's even the slightest amount of detail is just awesome. I also mentioned a 2-player co-op mode. I actually didn't even know this was part of the game until I read it on Google. I was not able to find this 2-player co-op mode, though it might be due to me not finishing the game or not having an accessory to hook into the Game Boy to make it appear on the screen. Not to mention, even if I did find out how to do this, I wouldn't be able to anyway, as I am emulating this. I do not own a Game Boy Color anymore. Also, I just figured that playing this on a big bright screen would be a lot better than playing on a tiny dark one. If any of you guys actually do end up trying this game and finding the 2-player co-op mode, let me know how it is. Also, if you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a like and subscribing to my channel. I really am trying to work on my speech and get better at it as I upload these videos. There's actually a ton of video ideas I just hadn't released because of the way my voice sounded or my speech getting stuttered or something crazy like that. But I hope it didn't interfere with you enjoying this video, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.